Hello everyone, I'm Rafa and this is my home studio. Welcome. Today I want to show you this exercise that I did and this exercise that I did. They're wet, so it's kind of like hard to touch them without, if you paint with oils, you know what I'm talking about. So why I want to show you those two? Well, because if you've been following me and watching my videos, I am documenting everything that I'm doing since I started with oils a month and a half ago. So I'm new to this medium, oil on canvas, and I loved it. Like since the first time I tried it a month and a half ago, I fell in love with it. So I am documenting everything and I'm trying to pass on whatever I'm learning with my experience. So here, I really wanted to try to do something that to me looked impressive. Like, okay, so fire, like a candle, a lighted candle, like how can I make that happen in a canvas? So I tried this and it worked because I followed the reference. So here, outside of the where it's supposed to be light, it's actually like a dark yellow, like ochre. I'm gonna show you. So around the white part, there's ochre, and I would never thought, if I didn't follow the reference, that the ochre would make with the white would make it shine like it was fire. So that was very interesting to me, and my brain was trying to fight it. Like my brain did not want to put those colors together because I didn't think it would work, but it does. And you just have to follow the reference. At first, my background, it was kind of like purple, not that dark, and it was not working. Like I did everything, it was not working, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, I need to follow the reference and make this background darker. So as soon as I made it darker, it worked. And the light of the candle popped. So that part was kind of like easy. Where I really struggled was the candles itself, like this part. Because here to here, there's like 5 tones going on. And it was very hard. And I am satisfied with what I came up with, like what I was able to accomplish and everything, but I know that I need to get a lot better before I start painting this in the way that it should be painted. So I did my best, and this is what I come up with. This one, it was actually the first reference that I didn't really follow the reference, because I felt that with this organic shape I could go a little like over the edge a bit. So I changed the colors. I tried to keep the same value, because if you know a little bit about value, you know that what makes a painting work is not the colors but the values. So you can change all the colors, but if you keep the values, you'll be able to make that painting work. So I tried to do that, and I think it kind of worked, but I'm not really good at values yet, but I was able to make it this. You can tell it's a shell, so it works. And the way you can see about the values, I'm gonna show you a trick. So you go on your phone and you go and take pictures, then you go on black and white, and here you're gonna be able to see the difference. So you're gonna place your reference photo, and you're gonna place right next to it what you're painting, and then the picture is gonna show you what's similar in those two value-wise. So you can always do that whenever you're painting. If you want to make sure that the value is right, you just put it in black and white, and then you take a look at it through this lens, and you're gonna see if the values are way too off or they're close, So this is something that is really helpful when you're trying to make a canvas work, because sometimes you're just struggling like for a long time and you don't know what you're doing wrong. You already changed a lot of things and it doesn't seem to be right. It doesn't seem to be like going to the right direction. So when you do that, like it's gonna show you right in if it's a value problem, you know, because when a canvas doesn't work, it's gonna be one of the fundamentals probably. So it's a drawing problem, or it's a value problem, or it's an edge problem. You know, you're always gonna find those problems when you're starting in a canvas, you know, like in oil paint. I am going through all these problems and I'm actually being able to solve them because I am paying attention to these fundamentals. So the value problem, I think, is like the most common and the most hard to solve, because it's hard to understand value. Like it's something that you need to practice a lot to be able to see, like, okay, so I have a green and I have a blue. How can I tell that this value is like this value? So like I have two different colors, but if I adjust them, they can have the same value. So if I have a shell that is blue and I want to paint it green, if I come up with a green that is the same value as that blue, the shell is gonna work. You know what I mean? So you can change any color in a painting, but if you do it thinking about the values, it's gonna work anyways. Even a portrait, if I wanna change all the colors of the skin and use shades of other colors like purple, yellow, blue, I don't know, whatever. If you nail the values, you can have a colorful shade, a colorful face, and it's gonna work. People are gonna look at it and think like, okay, that's good, that's great, it works. But if you just like randomly pick colors and put it in a face, it's just gonna look like a mess and like you don't know what you're doing probably. So really, like what's really important in a painting is the values and not really the colors. And this is why in my last two videos from the past weeks, I talked about black and white canvases, and we went into the values thing, because I think like when you start on canvas, this is the first problem you're gonna face. At least it was for me. I didn't know how important values were. And now that I do, I'm trying to get better at it. And what helped me a lot was going through those black and white exercises. And then when I was doing this shell, I really applied changing the color, keeping the same value that I learned from the black and white exercises, because my brain is already picking up what the same value looked like, even in different colors. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram. There I post videos daily. You can see whatever I'm doing that day. And I hope to see you next week. Thank you for being here. Bye.